everyone, I'm Cassidy Jensen, a licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Grace Allspaw, a licensed marriage and family therapist. And we are both owners of our own therapy practices and passionate about the world of therapy.
This is Two View Therapy, the podcast, a show where we will explore popular shows, hot topics in today's culture, relational struggles, and family dynamics.
Join us for your weekly session.
Because if nothing changes, nothing.
Why does it do this every single time?
Good morning.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Sorry, there's been a little hiatus. Lots going on.
We're trying.
We are trying. I feel like at this point, a month is realistic for a little bit till we're out of the woods and settled again. And not to mention, I think we're both just struggling a little bit on content because we have to watch stuff in order to. We don't have to, but I wanted to have more of those elements that people
care about.
Yeah, it was exciting. I think it's interesting to have that therapist lens with a popular show or current event, if you will.
Yeah.
I was
get there.
Yeah, I was just telling you when I was getting my nails done.
Oh, yes.
We always, the nail techs like to watch movies. So this week, my lady put Coyote Ugly on, and it was just kind of nostalgic from my middle school, high school years, but also as I was watching it, because I think it's 2003, 2004, Tyra was popular, so that was big into America's Next Top Model era.
What year did you graduate?
In 2013. I watched a little after the fact. Middle school.
Okay.
Sorry, I was in middle school in 2005 or 6. But I probably would have watched it with girlfriends then.
Okay.
But also I like just watching movies from
back then.
I guess that was 20 years ago. Ugh. Anyway, the common theme was you have a strong female character that's ready to spread her wings, but somehow the mother's dead or gone and she's got to take care of her dad.
Oh my gosh, you need to read freaking A Court of Thorns and Roses. Cassidy, you would love it.
It's on the bucket list.
It's 3 daughters. Their mom's dead.
The mom is always dead.
Why is the mom always dead?
Too popular one, Cinderella story with Hilary Duff.
Yes.
And her dad's remarrying, which is why she's Cinderella. But she's got to be strong and take care of things. And these dads are just absent enough to not really know. Or I don't know.
Oblivious.
Yes. It was an Amanda Bynes. It was Sydney White or something. And she's going off to college. And her mom died. So she's trying to rush into the sorority that her mom was in.
I don't know that one.
Oh, I was big into anything Amanda Bynes or Hilary Duff back in the day.
Amanda Bynes, we should talk about her. She's lost her mind, I think.
I think she's really trying, but I also heard that she's got schizophrenia.
Yeah, probably.
And that explains a lot. But gosh, that's an episode in itself of all these child stars.
Yeah.
Suffering from mental illness after a substance abuse
100%.
And probably sexual abuse.
Even I'm gonna butcher his name here. Noah Centineo? Centineo? He's in oh, there it is. He was just in The Night Agent, or no.
Nope, I have no idea who that is.
The Recruit. He's in To All the Boys I Loved Before.
Nope. I don't know any of these.
So
I'm looking at Grace's laptop.
Yeah,
doing stuff.
He's not that old.
Somehow was born
1996.
Oh, okay.
So he's a little older than me. 98. That's why I said, what year were you graduating?
I guess it's not that much difference, but it somehow does feel that.
It does. He just talked about in an interview he battled substance use, and he was not a super huge child actor. Anyways, we're talking about attachment today.
We are talking about attachment. So let's steer this back on over. Attachment. Why we stumbled upon attachment is because I've been watching Below Deck.
Yes.
Below Deck Sailing Yacht was the first one, and I enjoyed that one. Dabbled in Below Deck Med. Just watch one season. I really like Aisha.
Love her.
Right.
Love her.
She is also in Below Deck Down Under. So I've been watching that one now.
Yeah, she's kind of roams.
Yeah, I love her. I feel
Yeah.
like she's squared away. I don't see attachment issues with her. She's in a loving, committed.
I'm so glad you said that. She represents a secure attachment really well.
Yes, you go, girl. You aren't, crossing any lines when we're all going out.
She's
and partying.
appropriate.
She is appropriate. She is firm. She communicates well, and her partner knows. Like when you're yachting, it's an intense 6 weeks.
Yep.
You'll talk to me when you can talk.
Yep.
And I appreciate the shit out of that.
Oh, 100%.
Finally, somebody gets it. Yes.
Oh, on that,
Mm-hmm.
let's go over really quick attachment styles.
Okay.
I'll
What do you
give you
got?
kind of just like an overview here.
Okay.
So we're starting with secure. Okay. Typically, someone who has a secure attachment style they're comfortable with intimacy and trust in relationships. They can explore the world confidently with a secure base. There's trust, comfort, confidence, exploration, safety. I would describe them as more flexible, that they're not like texting boyfriend, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you texting me back?
Like,
they're more
You'll touch base. I know
Yes.
you will.
yes.
We're good.
So we see that with her
Yes.
of just like, and her boyfriend too, probably. I think they're married or they're getting married. Beyonce?
Beyonce?
Beyonce. Beyonce.
I don't know, because the newest season of Ned just ended, and the captain got married to her wife
Oh, yes.
And-
Sandy.
in May of last year, and she attended that. And they're really good friends.
Yes.
All four of them live in Colorado.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my second attachment style. Avoidant. Okay. They value independence and emotional distance. They downplay the importance of close relationships. They're self-sufficient. They are kind of indifferent and they minimize relationships.
Oh, okay.
The importance.
I'm off doing my own thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you'll see that also in when there's conflict, they retreat.
Yeah.
So they're not engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one, anxious.
Okay.
They may be overly dependent on the partner and seek constant reassurance. They feel distressed and angry when the partner leaves.
Okay.
So there's fear of abandonment. There's clinginess. They need reassurance pretty frequently. You also see that in texting. Where are you at? What are you doing? More of that. I need to know. I need to control what's happening here. And then the fourth here is disorganized, which you have a combination of avoidant and anxious. So you'll see people who are disorganized kind of flow between. So they struggle with both a fear of rejection and fear of intimacy. Behaviors can be unpredictable with a mix of desire for closeness and sudden withdrawal. So you see that push and pull with disorganized.
Okay, yeah, and it gets very confusing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So when we're talking about below deck, there's a lot of this going on.
Well, and how do you want to do this? I feel like there's a lot of below deck that we can't sum this all up in the amount of time. So do you want to stick with below deck sailing yacht?
Beautiful.
Do you want to stick with season 5?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I know sailing yacht the best.
I do too.
And I haven't finished this most recent season. I'm aware of that. But
spoilers for you.
That's okay.
Okay. I think Keith is good with Daisy.
You like him?
I do. Yeah. They ended up dating for a while.
I saw that.
They're together.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. I think it was like a year, so I don't know when they recorded that, but they were together like a year.
Typically, like summer-wise, they recorded.
Well, I thought it was like summer and then it came out, but it almost sounds like it was the last summer.
Oh, like 2 summers ago?
Yeah. If they've been together for a year and have since broke up.
Oh.
Yeah. I was a little confused with the timeline. I liked him. Gosh, what's her face?
This is a wrong cast, I think.
Yep. No, because Lucy was season 4 and I enjoyed her. Because I feel like the 2 understews to Daisy were emotionally immature. At least more so, what's her name?
This girl?
Her. Yes. What is her name?
She was a lot.
She was
Glenn. So we've got Glenn,
Glenn's got his stuff together.
Daisy, Gary.
Yes.
Cloyce, which is an interesting name.
It is. David was just doing his own thing.
He was vibing. He was just honestly probably a secure attachment.
Yeah.
Because he's doing his own thing. He doesn't need anybody to like.
Oh, he's having fun, or he's just doing his own thing.
Deanna.
Yes.
She was a lot for me.
I think she's a little insecure. Danny felt like a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Keith just wanted something serious. Emma is not in the right place right now.
No. And I would say.
And then Chase came in to take Emma's place.
I like Chase.
I like Chase too.
I liked him last season too.
Yes.
Or whatever season he was on. I think it was the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Brought him back for 5.
So when we're looking at Daisy and Gary, because I know at least what I've seen of this season, they have somewhat of the push and pull dynamic.
So they've been very touch and go over the last seasons. And it's been like, are you guys going to date? Are you not? But I think Daisy would like something that's a little bit more consistent, solid, mature.
Serious.
Yes. And she's mentioned that to him, and they've had their own little conversations. She just doesn't think he's kind of in that point. So it's just, I think she's coming to realize like it's just not going to be a good fit. And it's not what she deserves or wants right now.
Which I think at one point she would have gone for it.
Yes.
And he was avoiding. And now he's more so like...
It just seems like what he's mentioned in one of the episodes. He drinks to get drunk. So he doesn't know what his limits are. And then also like, why are we drinking that heavily? What are we covering up or avoiding with alcohol?
So I had just had a training this weekend and I'd never heard it put this plainly.
Okay.
Of addictions are forms of dissociation and also used to cope with something. They're not just there for fun.
No, I usually see it as like that is an unhealthy coping skill.
Yes.
So you're using it for a release of some sort. Yeah.
Yes. So when you talk about his behavior, there's something there that whether it's an attachment style, whether it's a wound, an experience from the past, he's avoiding something.
And I wonder, because one of the episodes he calls his mom and talks about it. So I'm like, what's that relationship like? I only see a little touch. Seems like she's supportive. So what else is going on? We don't know, of course. This is just our therapeutic mindset while watching the show.
We also, I want to point out on all of this, like especially reality TV, we get to see very little of their real lives.
A curated portion.
Yes. So being generous and not making snap judgments. Like with my clients, typically, sometimes, but typically I don't know attachment right off the bat.
No, I feel like I have to get to know you a little bit more.
Sometimes it's clear. Sometimes it's like, oh, we've got a really anxious attachment cycle happening here.
Yeah. Well, I feel like those ones really come out.
The anxious attachment is the easiest for me to clock.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, secure, probably a close second. But I just described this to a client the other day where this client is really anxious when things are on the floor, like shoes, socks, whatever. And to decrease that anxiety, she just picks it up.
Okay.
And she has some avoidant patterns, but then is like frustrated and wants to communicate with everybody in the house. And everybody else in the house is a bit avoidant. Oh. So they're stuck in this cycle of passive aggressive behavior. And you see some of that just in general with attachment. Like, oh, I'm going to be anxious and I'm just going to do it and take care of it. And everybody else can feel the energy and they're going to avoid dealing with it and move on.
And there's, it is affecting everybody. And you're not ever going to get what you need because the other ones are avoiding and you're doing the work that you want them to do.
I also want to point out anxious attached people and avoidant attached people love to be together. They love it. I don't know how they find each other, but always.
That makes me think when, you're having arguments and you have the one that needs to mull over everything that's being said, to really think it through. They're feeling overwhelmed. And you have one that is kind of the pursuer of, we need to get this done and figured out because I'm uncomfortable, which continues to overwhelm the other one. And they just need a timeout to collect themselves. I'm looking up a book that is on my to read list. that kind of goes along with this. Of it's called Attached: The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love by Amir Levine and Rochelle Heller. I've had a client say it was really insightful. Mm-hmm. It's just I would rather read fantasy romance right now than anything related to work.
I think I'd rather read anything other than
give me a comic strip.
I just said to somebody the other day, like, I was sick a few weeks ago, and I read 4 books
and cranked it out.
I did, and they were like, "That doesn't sound like relaxing and like getting better." And I was like, "No, my brain was literally off."
Yeah, like in our own land.
I wasn't
down. Yeah,
informative anything.
Yeah, no. So if you only knew the things we were reading.
You know what? Right now, what I'm reading is really, really chill. And I'm like, there needs to be some action of some sort. Like, kill somebody or something.
Get started on that other book that I know you just got.
We'll talk about that one later. So, okay. I do have here how to develop a secure attachment style.
Okay. And how do we tie this back into, again, Gary and Daisy?
Well, I think Daisy's working towards this.
Okay.
She's not participating in the normal cycle anymore because if you watch previous seasons, her and Gary kind of do this dance of like push and pull.
On again, off again.
Yeah.
They don't really talk to each other respectfully at times. And then, we have like that makeup, like, oh, it's totally fine.
Well, then she dates Colin.
Yeah.
Who's not on this season.
Yes. And Gary did not respect that. And I had a lot of issues with that.
I love Colin.
They were both like very clear, and she made up her mind and was trying to set boundaries, and Gary just bulldozes all of those, which I just didn't appreciate.
So when you're watching the season, again, I haven't seen the full thing, so I want to respect that. But as far as I can tell, this is what Daisy's doing. Okay. Whether it's she's aware that whether she's saying, I want to heal my attachment style, or
I think she just has some awareness of the cycles of the past.
Healthy patterns.
Yes.
So, or unhealthy patterns, trying to make them healthy. So I have on here, like, understand your own attachment style. What are typical patterns that are based on attachment that you're participating in?
Yeah.
Practice communicating your needs openly and assertively. So very clear. You're communicating exactly what you need. I think she's done that.
Yes.
Trying to see the world from someone else's perspective. So you're opening your view, and when you're looking through an attachment lens, you're saying, I'm anxious. This is the view. But you're not understanding partner's view or other people's. Maybe it's avoidant. Maybe it's secure. So understanding others' perspectives. Work on trusting yourself and other people.
Well, and as you're talking about this, I think in this season, she recognizes with Gary disrespecting the boundaries, he cannot fulfill something. Like I don't know what he would be considered an anxious attachment. He's always kind of
I think he's disorganized.
Okay.
So he goes through anxious where he wants Daisy, he pulls her in, and then he goes back into avoidant. Yeah. And I don't know for sure, but
yeah. And I think she's kind of recognizing, like, I just need somebody to know, like, I got them. I'm going to stick to me. Like, it'll be okay.
Which that's a good point on this list is also create and maintain healthy boundaries. So setting those really clear. This is my boundary. I also want to reiterate, we had a boundary episode last season.
Yeah.
But boundaries are meant to protect you. They're not meant to control other people.
They're not a bad thing.
No. They're actually really good if you use them correctly. So utilizing them in a healthy way and maintaining them.
Well, I think that helps with respect with yourself and your partner.
Great point, Cassidy. Another thing on this list. Move towards feeling worthy of love and respect.
Hey, there we go.
So increasing self-worth, having a sense of self. Who are you?
Okay, so we're talking about self-worth. And this is just what I see from Danny. Early 20s, and that's a hot mess for everyone. Okay.
Everyone's struggling at that point.
We're trying to figure it out. And now my frontal lobe's developed, so I have the inside, okay?
Hers is not.
No.
She's,
doing her thing. There's a few different guys in a short period of time. Not judging that, but how quickly she's getting attached and then worrying about, oh no, what are they thinking? What do I do? And then moving on. And it just... I don't know if you're there yet, but Chase came on, I think, only the last 2 weeks, and she's getting with Chase.
I did see part of that, so maybe I did finish.
Yeah, and so in the last episode, well, Chase finds out that she was also sleeping with the guy from the club, and he's like, "It feels like you lied to me," and I'm like,
yes, Chase.
Yes. But then she finds out he was dating the chef from season 4, and she's like, how is this different?
Actively dating her?
No, they dated a little bit after season 4.
Oh, so there is a difference, that seems to me.
I think so, too.
Oh.
But she was like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want your judgment, and now you're giving me judgment. Because I think there's this unworthy, insecure piece that she's got going on. But also, they only just met, and I don't know what it's like.
What do they owe each other? Yeah.
But also, she's like, I thought we were going to have plans to date after this and travel and all this stuff. And I just kind of felt like, you're coming on a little strong, man. We just met.
Anxious.
Yeah.
So when you see that of like this pull, I'm upset of your behavior because it's not what I need. That's that anxious cycle that's ramping up and controlling her life. Honestly, I can't imagine. I have pieces that are anxious. Like, I mostly function in a secure attachment of pieces at times that pull me into. Honestly, we all do. But and maybe that's just my awareness of like, oh, I'm anxious at the moment. That's a really hard pattern to break. And I can really respect people who are aware and working toward growth and change, no matter what their attachment style is. But I think some of what we see on previous seasons, and even some in this season, where nobody's working towards growth and challenging the normal patterns until Daisy this season.
Yeah, and of course, Aisha just having it together. But
she's wonderful.
I don't know. I think that's kind of what I'm gathering the vibe of yachting. We're just kind of do our own thing and be a little transient and move on.
This is just a snap judgment. Okay, I'll be clear with that. Probably a lot of yachters have either an anxious or avoidant attachment because there's no security.
Well, yeah, you're off.
constant.
I don't know. Well, and that's kind of a thing that you and I were talking about. When they are working, it's balls to the wall. So we don't really have time to chat. We don't have the energy. There's just not a lot. So, yeah. I think some of them struggle with relationships because you can either like accept like things are going to be pretty wild for, while I'm away, or like it's not going to work out. And I think some of them you see, especially in med, I was looking at breakups happening with the long distance because there was no trust, or we were too anxious, or we needed to give so much and there was no space for that right now.
Oh, what season was that? Was it maybe Med? There was a girl and her boyfriend broke up, maybe?
And then she started dating Nathan.
Yeah.
Season 9 of Below Deck Mediterranean.
Okay. I've seen parts of that. Apparently I don't finish a show. I do, but whatever. So in all of this, I think ultimately, to wrap up, to create change within an attachment style, you have to have a pretty significant awareness of your own behavior.
It's always awareness.
Confidence, and also how you're participating in cycles. So just gaining awareness to create change, because
if nothing
changes, nothing changes.
We wanted to say thank you for listening today. You can find our Instagram at 2View Therapy and view our merchandise through our Etsy shop at 2View Therapy.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. If you are in a mental health crisis, contact your local crisis center, or you can call and text 988.